to do is you can just say it to me. I know you said it before, but tell us your name and where you live, not your whole address, just where you're from. Herkimer would be fine.
Yeah.
And then what branch of the service you were in.
Right next. I was
Your name?
Charles Moehringer, 402 Ballinger Avenue. There, ripped right off. Herkimer, New York.
And tell us what branch of the service you were in.
Oh, geez, it's kind of hard to tell. I mixed them up. I was. We would. We were sent to.
Were you in the Army?
Huh?
The Air Force?
What?
Were you in the Army or the Air Force?
Army. It was the Army. When we sent down to, we went down to Texas for our thing, and we were in. I don't know what the hell we would call it.
Boot camp?
Huh?
Were you at boot camp?
Boot camp, yeah, and we were wound up in a oh, geez, I can't remember that stuff.
That's okay. How about if we just ask, did you enlist or did you get...
No, I was drafted.
What did it feel like when you got your draft notice?
I was expecting it.
How about a lot of your buddies?
I really didn't know anybody that had got into it yet. I had work going back between Albany and Herkimer, and I didn't know anybody Herkimer too much here. My mother's folks lived here, and it wasn't too much.
Okay, so you were drafted. Do you remember when that was? What year was that?
The what?
Do you remember what year that was?
Oh, God, no.
You know how old you were?
Hmm?
How old were you when you were drafted?
I was trying to think it up. I don't remember now.
Were you just out of high school?
No, I was working over in Univac, and I'd come from there, so I had to be up in the teens or early, I don't know just how far it is.
Early 20s?
Probably 20, 21.
Okay. So, how about your family? Did you have a family here?
My mother and my sister, and I got the applause for her. Or they gave her so long to do it, and then I had to go into the Army. So they gave her a pretty good time. They figured up with finances and stuff like that with her, so that she wouldn't be hurt, because it's just the two girls and my sister and her.
So, you were drafted and you went off to boot camp. Then where were you first assigned?
To Texas, and what the hell was it even to Texas?
You went to Texas?
Yeah, it's down in Texas there. Just a small town, I forget what it was. It was gradually getting more down there. They were getting bigger and bigger. They're big. I can't remember what it was now because we didn't stay there too long. We moved over to other places.
Where did you move to that you actually started to see battle?
Oh, God.
How much battle did you see, Chuck?
How much what?
How much battle did you see? Combat?
All there was. We went. We got it. Eventually, we were regular Army. I mean, and yeah, I mean, nobody that we could heard of too much about. You know, I mean, it was like, and when we went overseas, we went to England, and we stayed there. Maybe this will help. When we went into England. We were leaving there. Oh, before this is interesting. When we went to England, they said we were going to England. How we were going? We're going on a boat. What the hell boat were you going to get on? He said Queen Elizabeth, which was a brand new boat, hadn't even been finished yet. And we got on it, and 22,000 men in it. And don't you think we were in the sweat with, with all those guys on it and submarines there? But they gave plans all the way over. We had planes over us, right over us, all the way out. They wouldn't dare come close. And we landed in, what the hell was the name of it? Scotland somewhere. I forget where it was. A big naval airplane. Oh, geez, you just ought to see the stuff they had in there. It was loaded. And when we got out of there, we went over and got on the train. That's all we saw, was all of Scotland. We got on that. And that night, we went right down into northern England. And we put on in a big home there somewhere. I don't know what kind of one it was, but there was a big school at the end, a big boys' school. I don't know what that one was, but and we had to stay there. And while we were staying, this is all of what we enlisted and all this stuff. And when we were having out in the sun one day, one night, we're going to have a little talk by somebody. Oh, I said, who the hell are we going to talk about? So we stood there, and we looked. There was 2 or 3 generals there. They must be picking their peck, you know what I mean? That's what we said. And finally, one of them got up, and he's come up, and he says, "So you think I'm a son of a bitch, do you?" That was, he says, "I am." It was General, that's from my introduction to General Bob, what's his name? I got him in a bag there. I liked him right off the bat. Patton. He was. I liked him right with the Patton. Most of the guys did too. They say, "Hey, there's a real guy."
Did he talk to you for long?
Oh, he used to talk every once in a while, because we were selected for him. That was his group. We didn't know that, but we were his group then.
Oh, okay. So you stayed with General Patton for quite a while.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Right up until the time he died. We were that's another story about his dying. It was a pitiful thing there. He wanted to go to I don't know, some kind of hunting. I don't know what it was, and when he come back, this truck this kid was driving a truck, and he got, I don't know, he hit it in the back, and it's the most pitiful thing you ever want to see that man laying there dead. We couldn't go in and see it, but we sneak looked, and all bended over, and he couldn't move hard. It was terrible. Take so much with it he did, and then to get killed at. So, let's go back to that word.
Well, that was quite a story in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were with Patton. Now tell us what you did. What you did.
Well, I was working with his. He had what the hell? Ground forces. We had our regular arms too. Between his and ours, they were different. I forget now how his were, but his were rifles. And we had pistols, and we had some rifles too. And it was an army. It was when you want to rush in there and bud. And he was good.
When you hit, which battles do you remember that you were in? Which battles?
Which battle?
Yeah.
Which battle? I think the last one, almost, because he come in. it's jumping the story though, but if we're going to jump a little bit.
That's okay.
But when we were supposed to go over to the big big thing over in Germany, that big mills and stuff like that, big, and they wanted to get rid of it, and they were going to give him to it, and he started going. He started going over. We started going over there. Everything was going over there. We got down there, and you could see the. We were way up on a hill, and you could see the town down below there, and that we were supposed to. But before that, there the Bulge comes in, and they were worried about that because nobody was around there. His outfit was out way over there, 80 miles or so, and so he said, "What are they going to do?" So one Sunday, that Sunday, right, I come into my officers, and it says, "Sergeant, get your clothes, get your 2 men from the other. You're going back. Where we're going? You'll find out. You're going to meet with General Patton. Is somebody, I don't know who it was, over in there. It was French. I couldn't remember the damn thing and number." And he says, "We want you to go over and try to find a good place to put trunks in because we're going to send them over." So, oh, jeez, I said, five and me go look for Dustin. So we got over there. Eventually, we lost them in the train. They got mixed up, and oh, geez, it was terrible. Well, we finally got up there anyway. And we did what we could. And in a couple of days, he comes bellowing me, and I think that was the best one because that could have been lost the war right then and there.
But you had a victory.
Huh?
But you had a victory.
But you had a war. And you know something? Some people said that when he got killed, that somebody killed him on purpose. The Germans they liked him. German army liked General Patton because they said he was the best there was. And he said when they surrendered, they would only surrender him, and they did. And when I was sitting there watching, going home, or going when they were going home, they brought everything they had down, put them, surrendered the stuff, got rid of it. I don't know where they did it, but they passed by through where we were, and we got good stuff what they had, and they were good army. All the while we were out there, they had been against us, and we were against them. It's kind of strange, isn't it?
It's funny, you learn that they're just people, too, doing what they had to do.
Yeah.
The same as you.
Yeah.
When you crossed over into Germany, what did you find there? What did you discover?
What do you mean, what did you discover?
Well, certainly when you moved forward into Germany, was it a little scarier? Was it, what was going on then?
Well, I don't know.
Did you get into to any of the concentration camps?
Not that I know of.
No.
No.
What about the Rhine? Did you advance into Germany and cross the Rhine River?
Well, I went down there across the Rhine. There, I went swimming there. The Blue Danube was so muddy, I never saw such a dirty place. But I had to do it.
What was the most difficult thing about your time in battle?
You're scared, for one. You had to be. I mean, being so close to the end, and you know it was getting to the end. And, you didn't want to get pooped then. He had a couple of guys did too.
What other battles did you see? You had done, crossing the Rhine was a very big victory, very big accomplishment, wasn't it?
Oh,
Tough battle?
Well, no, we didn't never got a chance to cross it. What we were doing, they never crossed it, and they just let that go, went over, fought the Battle of the Bulge. That was a tough one. The Germans, they had their tanks in the first place, right off the best place that they had. I don't know what happened, went wrong, but they got. Of course, when he come in like nobody's business. When he was, you see, he'd right up in the car, and the car was going along like that. He wasn't afraid. He almost tempted it. I guess he got hit there.
Were you wounded at all in battle?
No.
A lot of your friends?
A lot of what?
Your friends?
Our unit wasn't too, I think there was, 2 or 3 in our, now that's not the big party from our part of it was 2 men. See, we were a small group in there because we were just small helpers, you might say.
What was your position? What did you do when?
Well, I was
What was your rank?
Stafford. See, I haven't said so long. I haven't said it. Stafford. So I'm what the hell was it? Stafford.
Sergeant?
No, they have it with a sheriff. No.
Staff sergeant?
Huh?
Staff sergeant?
Staff sergeant. That is correct. I can't even. That's the one.
That's it. Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah, I had a good boy.
Yeah, so you were pretty responsible for people then.
Oh yeah, we did. We were, but I didn't have anybody in our group. He got wounded, but not. There were a couple of guys that were hurt pretty bad, but I don't know how they finished because we didn't know.
You said that you went right through and you were just in a lot of different battles. What's one of the major stories you remember from when you were in the war?
The one, I'd say the Battle of Bulge. That was a tough one. We almost lost it.
How did you handle all of that distress around you, all of the loss of life? How did you handle it?
Well, you try to ignore it if you can, unless it's somebody you know, somebody you don't know. If it is somebody you know, you can't quite do it. But.
How about when you came back from the war? How much did you talk about the war experience?
Oh, a lot of the fun started. A lot of funny things happened, and there were a lot of funny things too. Some of them were serious. Some guys were hurt, and if you were lucky, you just start right over again.
Do you remember when the war ended?
What?
Do you remember when the war ended?
Yeah, yes, I do. Very, very well. We were in that prison there. We were in that prison there, taking care of that.
Which prison?
And that was, and we got up this morning, and the German was trying to tell us Roosevelt died, and he was, like that. And we had a hell of a time because we didn't have anybody that could interpret that. Well, we would have one guy. We had to talk to Patton, but he was the secretary to some woman one time, and he knew German pretty good. And they said Roosevelt's died. So that was he didn't get a chance to get him in the quit. See.
Now you said you were in the prison. What prison were you in?
I don't know what the name of the prison was. It was a jail for prisoners. Not necessary army thing. These were civilian too, and they had part civilian was in it, and then they had the army had some that had like we would too sometimes.
This was in a German prison?
Germany, yeah.
Okay.
That's German prisoners. That's where I was running all over there. Christ, they asked me for, because I had quite a few people there that I was responsible for. I was for the guard for the prison, and I was supposed to get them straightened out and getting bickwacked, and someplace where they could. We took one part of the side of the town there, and did it there. That's the way it was.
When you think about the war, do you have very clear pictures in your head?
Do I have what?
When you think about what happened during the wartime, it's all these years later. What
No.
kind of images in your head do you have?
No, that didn't bother me afterwards.
It didn't?
No.
You went on with life, it wasn't a problem.
Yeah, happier and happier and happier. No, I think that I thought we were very lucky. Very, very, very fortunate. My group, we had no loots, and I had about 12, 14 guys, regular guys with me. And I can only remember one only got hit one in the hand or someplace, and he was all right too. But that's we were very either caution or something. We were lucky, but and I haven't seen any of those guys since. I haven't seen them since they were all from New York. We had funny. When we were in New York, they got a whole lot of Italian kids from Corona, which was a tough place down in New York. And they were the craziest guys. No, they were kids, you know what I mean? They were young kids. And they were having a good time. They didn't like the army too much. They were going to have a good time for it. Geez, they drive you crazy. One guy said, when we come into Texas to stay in, there was a cow come over the window. Look at the deer, look at the deer. So,
You've never seen a cow, huh?
No. And when they got to run their mothers, they used to send us stuff in great big things in spaghetti and this everything, and they didn't do it right. They set it in glass and it busted. What a mess! Finally they got some stuff to put into it, and then they shared with it. Anybody want to go in there ate. Went in there, eat all they wanted. They're good fun. They're funny. They're funny.
You said the Battle of the Bulge was your hardest battle, that was the most difficult. Do you remember any scary?
Yeah, I think it was because they didn't have a time. They almost got caught with their pants down. That's what I think. Almost. And then the old boy hadn't been on his horse. He knew what it was. He said he didn't want to go over there. He's asked where it were. But they sent him over there, and he turned around. By the time when they found out that it was said, he said he was already 20 got guys coming on, so they knew about it.
What was for you personally? Do you remember a story about where you were? Something happened to you while you were in battle?
Nothing happened to me.
Nothing all those years.
I wasn't here. I don't know. I can't think of anything that.
Were you excited when the war ended? How did you feel when the war ended?
I was happy because I was glad to get home. Although I didn't have any girl wait for me or ready by me.
What was coming home like? What was it like? What happened?
Great. My mother was up to Utica when I come in, and I know it was a big relief to her. She loved me. I know that. And, she hated to see me go, but she made it, and she was quite good.
So after that, when you got home, did you start working right away?
Well, I went to UNIVAC. I went right back. They gave me my job right in there, and I was.
What kind of celebrations do you remember from when you came home?
Well, just little ones right here. I mean, it's just nothing.
Any parades or anything? Parades or anything?
I never took my not around. I don't never seemed to Herkimer here any seem to do anything like that. I don't know why it's wild or what. But.
So after the war, did you talk about it much?
Oh sure, every time you got, hey, that's a good day there. Well, that was a pretty good day. Remember, hey Joe, you remember this place or something like that? And of course, you had to cut it down a little bit, but the women wouldn't like it.
Some of the things you cut out, did you say them ever later on?
Say them later on.
Say them to anybody.
Geez, I had a lot of stuff. I had. I was another thing too. I was in a big gumber section of our I don't know what to call it, and I had my when we went out we had to go. I'd have to go with an officer, and I had my cards. Like this, just I write down just what my information is to what his is to me, to make sure that we're about right. See, and when we get through, when they fire, and to see how they come. Well, one time our boss went with me, and. This is for target not for, and he says, I said, Sergeant, I said, Captain, I said, you're way off on that one. He said, no, I'm not. He said, no, you don't. I said, you better. No, he says, that's right, I think it's right. So, he was a captain. He was so far off, he was out off the tank. Way the hell out. He said, what did the sergeant have on his paper? Perfect. That was what was done. I mean, so damn serious. I said, it's a perfect inline shoot for him. No this, you're straight. I said, how do you fit it?
So you were quite a marksman, huh?
Well, no, not with that. You know how big those guns are? They take a tilt. I'll tell you another funny thing. When we at the battle, I think it was in the Bulge. Our guns had to be changed because they fired and fired and fired and fired. And they were all dirt and everything. And they had to take them out. They had a guy come right into it, and they could do it right in the face. They took it out, put it in there. Well, but before they did that, they weren't clean, and they were waiting for them. And they were shooting them over, and they were going over it like that, like the bell was going like that. And this American Army thing in front, he says, for Christ's sake, to get those out of there, they're knocking us all over hell down here. So they finally turned it.
Some funny
Yeah, that wasn't too funny.
Not really. It could be scary. It could be very scary.
I can tell you more of the stuff like that stuff because I remember being that. I wasn't too good at killing people. I mean, not like
The hand-to-hand combat wasn't your thing.
no.
That's tough.
I figured, geez, he didn't do anything to me. I don't do anything to him.
How was it different when you came home than when you left? How did it change you being in the war?
For me, it turned better. I get a promotion. I liked it. I liked the univac. Of course, I like one of the bosses too. It didn't help me. It didn't hurt me.
How did it change you personally? Were you a different person having gone away and seen battle? You saw the killing and the destruction. How were you different when you came back?
That's the fact. They're older guys over here with then, and they didn't. I don't know. Maybe they resented it coming in there. You know what I mean? Some would get better jobs. I don't know.
What do you think is important about you doing an interview like this? Why would you agree to do an interview such as this?
Well, I have to. I may be wrong on some of the things. I hadn't say that, but my memory, goofed up. I'm not. I got a couple of the boss's book there. I like to. I still call him the boss.
What do you think is important to let young people know about the war?
Don't let it happen. It's no good. It's a tough thing, but you can't let people run over you either. You can't like down in this one we're down like the president down here now. And, I think he's doing a good job. I mean, he's not getting any help from Congress. They're not jerks. They don't know what they would. But anyway, I hope he doesn't get hurt. That's all.
So the kids need to know what happened long ago.
What?
Do you think the children need to know?
Oh, I think they will in history. Sure. There's lots of books right now that tell.
Would you like to show us what you have? Can we take pictures of what you have here?
No, that's all there was in there.
Okay.